Have you noticed those telling glances between adult children and their aging parents? That subtle shift when a son asks about his mother's finances and her shoulders tense. The quick flash of fear in a father's eyes when his daughter mentions assisted living. Those small moments at family dinners, in doctors' waiting rooms, during holiday gatherings, where independence hangs in the balance with just a few innocent-sounding questions. What happens in those quiet exchanges is more profound than most realize. With each personal detail revealed, each bank statement shared, each health concern disclosed, each memory of vulnerability exposed, something precious slips away. Like autumn leaves falling one by one until the tree stands bare, our dignity can disappear almost imperceptibly with every well-intentioned conversation. I've witnessed this delicate dance for decades now. The parent who shared their savings amount suddenly finds their children suggesting how to spend it. The widow who mentioned memory lapses now has her medications counted and monitored. The father who revealed past regrets now hears them referenced whenever he makes a decision his children question. What begins as sharing transforms into subtle surrender, the slow erosion of authority in your own life. But there's a surprising truth hiding within this common pattern, one that few discuss openly. After 65, maintaining certain sacred boundaries isn't selfish. It's essential to preserving the relationship itself. Today, we'll explore what you should never reveal to your adult children, not to create distance, but to nurture the kind of respect that allows love to flourish without control taking root. What you're about to discover might challenge conventional wisdom, but it holds the key to aging with both connection and dignity intact. Money has a strange way of shifting family dynamics, even in the most loving homes. You might think, not my children, but remember, it's not greed that's a problem, but their worry about your future and theirs. That changes everything. When you disclose your savings, your home's value, or even a small gift from an old friend, you unknowingly place yourself in a silent auction. Who will inherit? Who can be trusted? Who deserves more? At a family dinner last month, Margaret mentioned her $50,000 savings. The very next day, her son started sending her retirement community brochures. He never mentioned it before, she whispered, eyes downcast. Not because he's bad, but because money revealed a path he thought easier for both of them. Instead of sharing details, try this approach. I have enough to live comfortably and I've made my plans. It's vague yet reassuring. If they press further, gently redirect. Are you worried about me? That's touching. This often makes them hesitant to continue their questioning, while maintaining the warm connection you both need. But there's something even more dangerous than financial disclosure. Those emotional stories you might think are just harmless memories. You believe that telling your children about your first love, friends long gone, or even that conflict with a neighbor 30 years ago is just a way to connect. But to younger generations, these stories have become evidence that you're outdated, difficult, or worse, losing your edge. Each vulnerable moment you share becomes potential ammunition for limiting your independence later. John told his daughter about arguing with his brother over inheritance decades ago. Now, whenever he mentions his will, she dismisses him. Dad, you're letting emotions cloud your judgment again. Your past, whether beautiful or painful, can be twisted to serve another purpose, usually to limit your self-determination. Instead of opening up too much, choose memories with purpose. Yes, I've faced challenges like that too, but things have a way of working themselves out. Enough to share wisdom, not enough to undermine your authority in your own life. There's an even more delicate territory, the health challenges you're facing. You want your children to understand why your back aches, your vision blurs, or your memory occasionally slips. But with each complaint, they see not just concern, but burden. Gradually, they begin treating you as a patient who needs monitoring, rather than an independent person who's navigated life's challenges for decades before they were born. Susan mentioned misplacing her keys occasionally. The next day, her son created a family group chat to monitor her for safety. Now she feels like a 70-year-old child under constant surveillance. Try this instead. I'm managing well, though aging does slow things down a bit. If you need help, request specifically, could you drive me my appointment next Tuesday? Rather than making general complaints that invite unwanted oversight. The body changes as we age. This is natural and expected. But there's a significant difference between acknowledging reality and surrendering your narrative to others. When you share every ache, pain, or forgotten name, you're inadvertently creating a case file that others might use to make decisions about your capacity. Your children, even with the best intentions, may begin seeing you through the lens of your limitations rather than your wisdom. Consider what happens in medical offices when adult children accompany their parents to appointments. Notice how often the doctor directs questions to the child rather than the parent. This subtle shift doesn't happen overnight. It happens because we train people to see us as diminished through our own words and behaviors. Think of your health information as valuable currency. Spend it thoughtfully and only where necessary. Your daughter doesn't need to know about your occasional insomnia. Your son doesn't need details about your medication adjustments. Your health is yours to manage, with selective support from others when you decide it's needed. This boundary setting extends to your daily routines as well. There's no need to explain why you prefer shopping on Tuesday mornings or why you keep your thermostat at 75 degrees. These small areas of autonomy build the fortress that protects your larger independence. When children question these choices, a simple "this works best for me" is sufficient. No justification required. Perhaps most importantly, guard your decision-making process. While discussing options with trusted family members can be valuable, be wary of sharing every doubt or consideration. Statements like, "I'm not sure if I should," or "I can't decide between," open doors to unwanted direction. Instead, present decisions once are made. "I've decided to stay in my home and hire help as needed" carries far more authority than thinking out loud about housing options. The digital world presents new challenges for maintaining privacy. Well-meaning children might suggest tracking apps, monitoring systems, or shared access to accounts for safety reasons. Consider it carefully before accepting these offers, as each one places a small piece of your life under someone else's watchful eye. Remember that convenience often comes at the cost of privacy, and sometimes the old-fashioned way, though less efficient, preserves more dignity. What about the opinions and beliefs you've developed over a lifetime? While sharing wisdom is one of the gifts of aging, there's wisdom in selective sharing. Your children don't need to know every political opinion, every spiritual doubt, or every judgment you formed about family members or friends. Some thoughts are better kept as private reflections, particularly when sharing them might create unnecessary conflict or concern about your outlook. Finally, there's one thing you should never reveal, even when your children insist: your right to keep certain things private. The moment you apologize for having boundaries or secrets, you've surrendered something essential to your personhood. You've earned the right to privacy through decades of living. You don't owe complete transparency to anyone, not even those you brought into this world. Dignity doesn't rest in what we reveal, but in what we choose to keep sacred. Aging is like an autumn tree. Leaves fall gradually, but the roots remain strong because of what they hold within the earth. You don't need to tell your entire life story to be loved. Sometimes silence is how you teach others to respect you. Try going a day without answering every question your children ask. You'll be surprised how they respond when they realize you remain a mystery worthy of respect. They'll begin to see you differently, not with pity, but with admiration. "Mom, why aren't you telling me?" That's when you smile gently and respond, because there are some things you don't need to know. This isn't about creating distance. It's about maintaining a healthy space that allows love to flourish without control taking root. It's about teaching your children, even in your later years, that respect comes not from managing someone, but from honoring their sovereignty. The most beautiful parent-child relationships in later life are those where both parties recognize each other as complete humans, connected by love but separate in experience and authority. This balance doesn't happen by accident. It's cultivated through thousands of small moments where boundaries are established, privacy is maintained, and dignity is preserved. Live your golden years with pride, like a mountain, not a grain of sand that can be moved by every passing wind. Your life remains your own, to share on your terms, now and always. I'd love to hear your thoughts about maintaining dignity while aging. Have you found yourself revealing too much? What boundaries have you established with your adult children? Share your experiences in the comments below. And if you found this perspective helpful, please hit that like button and subscribe for more wisdom on navigating these precious later years with grace and independence. Until next time, remember that the most powerful word in your vocabulary might simply be enough.